Everybody, happy Saturday. For those of you who are not sure who you are watching, my name is Tremaine Wills. I am a financial planner and investment advisor. I own a company called Mind Over Money, where we are helping you create comprehensive financial plans so that you can eliminate financial stress and get back to enjoying life. And today, I'm going to be talking about Roth IRAs and traditional IRAs. And so, if you think this can help somebody, share this with them so that they can learn a little bit too. So, first, let's talk about what an IRA is. IRA is individual retirement account. This is a vehicle that allows you to get some special incentives so that you can save for retirement. And so, anytime we have accounts that are going to help us save on taxes, we want to learn a little bit more about them so we can use them to their full benefit. So, with the individual retirement account, you are allowed to put money inside of this account and it gets treated a special way. With the Roth IRA, money that you put in, you have already paid the taxes on it. And so, any future gains, you pay no taxes on it, which is great because typically when we put money into a Roth IRA, that allows us to have that money grow and invest. We invest in things that we think are going to accelerate. And so that way, those future gains, they compound and we don't have to pay taxes on those compounds. So that's why we might like a Roth IRA compared to a traditional IRA where the money goes in and we haven't paid taxes on it yet. And so I might want to use this if I want to reduce my taxable income. And so I always get the question of, well, which one? Which should I use? And we're going to talk about the benefits of both. But first, I want to give you some history, right? Let's talk a little bit more about how the Roth IRA came to be, and so that you can get a little deeper understanding of why you might want to use this. So, the thing that's special about a Roth IRA, like I mentioned, is those special tax savings in the future. And so, anytime we can put ourselves in a position where we know we can eliminate a tax bill, especially when we're talking about going into retirement, that is something to consider, right? One thing we know for sure is that the tax rates, the tax brackets, they're always changing. And so, if we can put ourselves in a position where we have an opportunity to pay less in taxes in the future, it's definitely something you want to look into. So, the Roth IRA was introduced and put into place in 1997 by the Taxpayer Relief Act. And this was done by Senator William Roth, who the account type is named after. And one of the things it was designed to do was to help the government not reduce their revenue coming in from taxes, but also assist the taxpayers, right? With incentivizing us to save for retirement, right? So, if this thing is put into place, one of the things we can do to help us with our tax savings, nobody likes paying more taxes than they should, right? Is identify what are the accounts and special rules that are in place that the government wants us to use, right? When we play by those rules, we can identify what the loopholes are so that we can get some incentives. So, to date, there are over 30 million Americans that use Roth IRA accounts, right? So this is not something that is uncommon or not popular. Many people are finding benefit from using these accounts. That's like 25% of folks that are leveraging these Roth IRAs. So when we think about the use of these accounts, the amount is capped on how much that you can put inside of a Roth IRA. When it was first introduced, the limit was only $2,000. And this was back in 1997. So between 1997 and now, that limit has almost quadrupled, right? And so if you are a person who is under age 50 in 2024, the most you can put inside of a Roth IRA is $7,000. If you are 50 and older, you have an additional catch-up contribution of $1,000. And so you can put $8,000 into this account. So, why is this something you want to take into consideration? Well, when we're thinking about retirement, knowing which accounts you have access to and what assets are in those accounts are going to help you structure a really good retirement strategy. Retirement and income from retirement is all about knowing what assets we have and where the cash is going to come from, right? There's a lot of conversation around if Social Security is going to be around, and if so, are they going to push back when you can have it at full retirement age? Is the amount going to be decreased? Like all these different conversations. And so, us as the individual taxpayers, we need to start to figure out, okay, how can I make sure that I am not significantly negatively impacted by any changes with Social Security income? And so while it's something to consider, you probably don't want to bet your entire retirement on Social Security income. So you think for yourself, okay, how can I leverage the vehicles that are in place, or that I have access to create my own retirement revenue streams, right? And so using traditional IRAs and Roth IRAs are ways to supplement that. When you are using a Roth IRA, this is going to allow you to have retirement income that you will not have to pay taxes on. And so this is money that you don't have to wonder, well, what if the income tax rate goes up to 55%, right? Am I going to lose half of this money? No, because you won't be paying any taxes on the money coming out of your Roth IRA, compared to a traditional IRA, which is going to be subject to whatever the income tax rates are at that time, right? So now a lot of people are asking, well, which one do I use? Do I use a Roth? Do I use a traditional IRA? And I think that, per usual, the answer is it depends. Both have different objectives. If you are leveraging a Roth IRA, you are probably more concerned with controlling your tax in the future, right? So you're deciding that, I'll pay this tax bill right now in the present moment, but in the future, I'm going to have the benefit of not worrying about paying taxes on this money. If you are leveraging a traditional IRA, you are worried about bringing your tax bill down now, right? You've decided that you want to defer, right? I'll think about those taxes later. And so, depending on what your needs are in this moment, that's going to dictate which is the best option for you. If you are a higher income earner, you might be thinking, okay, I've got to do everything in my power to bring this tax bill down. So it might make more sense to think about using the traditional IRA versus those who might be in a lower income tax bracket. Your focus is probably like, well, the tax, we don't like taxes at any rate, right? But your focus is probably going to be securing your future and making sure that in the future you don't have to pay any taxes on these accounts or any money coming out of these accounts. All right. So another good thing about leveraging IRAs is that you can start to set these up for your children. So minors can have IRA accounts. The only caveat is that it has to be earned income. And so earned income means money that we worked for. This is not, you can put, this is not something where you could just put like birthday money gifted to children or gifted to anybody in. It has to be money you've earned from working. So that's something to think about, especially those of you who might have small businesses. You can leverage your small business to be able to pay your child and then put some of those earnings into a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA account to help to start to set them up for the future. Many people leverage Roth IRAs in this capacity because if you think about putting that money in that account and then compound interest growing for 50, 60 years, right? That can be some significant gains that will not be taxed. So all of this, these are just different ways that you can leverage vehicles that are available to you to be able to make the most of the assets that you have and the income that's coming in, right? So what are your action steps going to be? Well, one, I want you to sit down and identify what types of individual retirement accounts do you have? Do you have a Roth? Do you have a traditional? Are you maxing it out every year? And so for 2024, the maximum amount that you can put in if you are under age 50 is $7,000. If you are over age 50, the maximum amount is $8,000. Are you taking advantage of these vehicles? If not, it might be time to sit down and think, okay, how can I do a better job of leveraging these two accounts into my strategy? Now, the good thing about our IRAs is that if you are eligible to make contributions into them, sometimes you can even deduct it from your taxes, right? Now, there are some instances, depending on how much income you make, and if your employer offers an employer sponsor plan where there are no additional tax incentives for you, right? And so if you find yourself in an area where you're like, I'm not even sure if there are added incentives for me, sit down with a financial planner so that you can get some crystal clear information around your specific situation. All right. So I hope this session was informational and the content was good. If it was, feel free to share it. And I will be back tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, with our next money nugget in the morning. I think that's what I'm going to call it. That kind of just rolled off my tongue, right? So, yes, have a fantastic day. And I